So, if someone has something that you want for yourself, do you think it makes more sense to say, okay, they have it, so maybe I can get it too? Or do you think it makes more sense to say, oh, well, they're lucky and that can't be me? Because what seems to be happening the most is we talk ourselves out of what we want. And like the people that show us we can have it, we literally just discredit them and are like, oh, they're lucky, they have more whatever than me, they had a better childhood than me. Whatever the reason, like we make up these stories like about that person we want to be like or that life that we want, and we like tell ourselves we can't have it. So, just thinking about this and the next level living is, what do I want and who has it? And this is going to shift our brain from this isn't possible for me to okay, they have it, so maybe I can get it too. That's like the biggest thing is, if someone else has what you want, why can't you get it? Like, why is it not possible for you? It's because you want to make up the excuses, like I just said, like, oh, maybe they're really lucky, like they got lucky, they know so and so, everyone loves them, no one likes me. They didn't have like a really traumatic childhood, so like of course they made it, and like things like this, or they have this thing I don't have, and we just want to make it about that so like we can stay safe, because it's never about, oh, they're better than us. It's actually about like we don't feel good enough to claim what we want. So even in the career or the corporate world, I mean, when you see that person get that promotion and you're like, I want that, but they're better than me. Or if you're starting your own business and other people are further ahead of you, the problem is we're comparing to like our day one to someone's day 1,000. So if we can kind of tell our brain, okay, they're ahead of me, but they started before me, then we can kind of start seeing it differently. We need to like reframe what excuses we're making in our head. So the main reason that you're not allowing yourself to get what you want is because you say that you want it, but then you come up with all these reasons of why you can't have it. And I think it's mostly because you are afraid to have it. You're afraid of what it's going to take, what it's going to cost, and you think you want it, but maybe subconsciously you have programs running where it's like, no, I don't really want that. Like, my body and my brain is telling me I don't want it. Like, because your brain is running programs all the time that are trying to keep you safe. And once you just figure that part out, it's a life changer. If you're like willing to accept it, if you're not going to accept it and you just want to keep making your excuses, that's cool. Don't come crying to me. But like there's just a different way that people don't want to talk about. So the main thing is, one, are you ready for it? If you wrote down like your dream life and it happened tomorrow, are you ready for it? And you're going to say, yeah, of course, but your system is not going to be able to hold it. Say you wanted to be the best at your job, or like the manager, the CEO, your own boss, or whatever, like in a magazine, whatever like the biggest, hugest dream is that you have right now. Like, if that happened tomorrow, you would probably freak out because it's just like so shocking to the system. That's why I've been talking about like the normalizing the steps, you know what I mean? So if that all happened tomorrow, you'd be like, oh my God, oh my God. And then you'd be probably in this spot of scarcity because you'd be like, I don't want it to run out. Like, I don't want it to end. Like, how do I hold on to this? Like, that's why we see the lottery players. They usually, a lot of them go bankrupt. They spend it all these things. And it's like, how would you do that? Like, if that was me, I wouldn't do that. And it's because their system cannot handle like the new wealth because they didn't normalize it. Like, they're not a person that has wealth. Like, it showed up in their life, but they're not a person that can hold on to wealth. So that's like the problem is they haven't made the identity shift. So once you make the identity shift, then you can hold on to it. If you still in your head, you won the lottery and you still think, oh my God, this is going to run out, or like, I don't know, negative thoughts, you're going to have that outcome. So to get to the next level part, you need to just do some rearranging in your brain and think, am I ready for what I say I want? Because even if you started what I told you about, like, stop the negativity and just affirm what you do want, do you really think it's possible for you? And if you don't think it's possible for you, just look at all the other people that have created the thing that you want. So if they can do it, you can do it. And even if you have the excuses of why they did it and you can't, then now your job is to work on the excuses. Like, what? So say you wanted something that someone has, but they came up, they like were raised in like a really good home, or like their parents helped them like acquire this thing. Your excuse would be like, well, I don't have well-off parents, or my childhood was traumatic. Now your job is to do the internal work and like heal from your past, so that that is no longer stopping you anymore. So you need to get to that point where that's not even like the issue holding you back. So it's like two parts. First part is, can you hold what you want, what you say you want? Are you making excuses for why you can't have it? So you're just saying, I want this thing, but it's not possible for me because somehow you're flawed. Like, you're the only human in the world that somehow can't get it. Everyone else can get it. And I mean, I know we all feel like that sometimes, but that's far from the truth. And you know, some of the things you have right now, there are people out there that would kill to have those things. So just remember, like, you're not flawed. Like, you might have some things going on that you should probably deal with, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is because you're making these excuses, and maybe you haven't fully healed, and you have these programs running in your head that are like, not us, not us, not us, because you've seen the evidence that it's not ever you. So that's part one, is can you hold it? Part two is just like when we talk about the normalizing it and seeing what's holding you back. Sorry, I like had a random hair here that keeps bothering me. But okay, so what's like holding you back? What is the excuse? And can you heal the excuse? Like, can you shift the excuse is what it is. And I mean, that's part 1B, I guess. So part 2 would really be, are you ready for it? Like, are you really able and available to have what you want? Because a lot of us are actually like really afraid to get what we want, because like I said, you might feel like it's going to cost you. You might feel like it's too hard, it's too much work, or maybe you think it won't be worth it. Maybe you'll think you'll lose it all, or whatever the reason is. So you need to get that right in your head, and you can do this by stopping the negativity, practicing the better thoughts of what you want. So only affirming what you want, and like writing down all the excuses that you had of why you can't have it. So write down what you want, why you can't have it, and then work on those excuses of what came up of why you can't have it.